What's up guys, this is Nick, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you an update on the Cobra. I know you haven't heard about it in a while, but I've been working a lot behind the scenes. It's been a crazy year for me, and honestly this thing's been the last thing that's on my mind, but that is about to change as I am now full steam ahead back on this project, and I'm very excited to show you guys the progress so far. So starting with the car itself, this is a 1997 Mustang Cobra with 145,000 miles. I bought it with a blown engine, and since then I've pulled the engine out and I've painted the engine bay myself. This is actually my first time ever using an HVLP gun was on this engine bay, and considering what I learned and how smoothly it honestly went, I'm very happy with the results. It's nowhere near perfect, but once again, this whole car is going to be used for drifting, and I'm not going to spend too much time making it look pretty because I will destroy it. Back here, I went to the junkyard and I got a trunk from a V6 Mustang that didn't have any holes in it, and I mounted this GT350 spoiler to it. I spent approximately 25-30 hours getting the spoiler to fit this car, and I think that with all the other parts that I have going on for it, that it's going to look absolutely sick. The quality of the spoiler itself is trash, and I did spend a good bit of time trying to improve upon it, fill it in and whatnot, and as you can see, it is nowhere near perfect. Once again, this is a drift car. I'm going to destroy this thing, put it into a wall. I'm not worried about it as long as it looks good from 20 feet away. This right here is a sail panel that I got from a junkyard as well. This was originally red and I painted it myself. It turned out nearly flawless, but if you look at that dimple right there, a bug crawled into the clear coat while it was freshly painted, so that is the only real imperfection on there. The front bumper on this car has been repainted before, and when I bought it, all the paint on the front of it, near where the front license plate would go if there was one, was completely peeling off. They didn't use any adhesion promoter, didn't even look like they sanded it before they painted it. So I stripped all the paint off of it, used adhesion promoter, sanded the life out of it, and I also bought this chin spoiler for it. This is a very hard piece to find, and I got lucky finding it on eBay. I bolted it in all the way around, and I love how the exposed hardware looks on it. I think that it's going to be badass with the spoiler and with the side skirts that I got for it. Once again, I painted this completely myself. This is one of my first ever paint jobs using the proper tools to do so. Not perfect, but I'm happy with it. Over here, I got a set of SVO side skirts, which once again I painted myself. This side's ugly, put in more effort over here to get the paint looking nice. So these side skirts go on the side of the car, and I'll have the exhaust coming out right over there, which I think in combination with everything else is going to be pretty sweet. I've also painted a lot of the factory components such as the valve covers, intake system, intake manifold itself, put a brand new plaque on it, timing cover, miscellaneous brackets, components, piping for water and whatnot. I got brand new brake calipers and rotors for the front and painted those as well. This blue was my best attempt to match the Ford blue on the badge that's on the trunk, and it matches very close in my opinion. I painted these wheels myself. I had 6 sets of bullets laying around, so I just decided to throw some paint on them, and I would use those as the drift wheels because I know I'm going to destroy them. Painted the rear calipers as well. My only concern with drifting the Cobra was going to be the factory transmission, which is a T45, or you could swap in a 3650. Both are weak as can be. I actually pulled this out of the car, and it's a Tremec TKO 500. I had no idea about that when I bought it. This is like a $3,000 transmission, and then you need the bell housing and a few other components to make it work. I got an MGW short throw shifter for it over here, which I'm very excited about, and I'm very thankful that this was in here because that's honestly life-changing. Here are some of the engine components I've purchased. I have an ATI super dampener. This will help reduce vibrations at high RPMs and extend the life of the oil pump and make everything run a little bit smoother. Instead of spending 200 bucks on a windage tray, I bought this GT500 gasket and windage tray for 50 bucks off of AutoZone.com. I got a OEM timing chain kit set. I have new guide pin dowels. I actually believe I'm going to be upgrading to the 8mm AccuFab version and drilling and tapping the block because I will be running 2-step. Upgraded AccuFab secondary chains because the factory ones are very weak. Plug and dowel kit, autometer gauge, going to be getting more of those. New exhaust manifold studs. These are all factory parts that I've just painted. Got a brand new lower housing for the thermostat and thermostat. IMRC delete plates from mmr.com. On the factory setup, there's butterfly valves on the circular ones, and whenever you're at low RPM, they're shut in order to give you a little bit better low end power, and then they open up as you give it more throttle. However, it's one more part to break, and it does limit maximum airflow to an extent. So I just wanted to get these so that I have the peace of mind and never having to worry about those fail on me. Because both the head and the block have been decked, I was told that I need a 51 thousandths head gasket, so I purchased this Kinetic Gasket as it was the only one that I could find in this size. However, I've heard a lot of people complaining about these Kinetic Gaskets, not getting them to seal well, having leaks and whatnot. So if you guys have another solution for this, I would absolutely love to address it now before I find out the hard way. I purchased the MMR Hurricane High Flow High Volume Oil Pump for the GT500 5.4. ARP head studs, MMR head cooling mod. This allows me to connect the freeze plug in the back of the driver's side head to the freeze plug in the back of the passenger side head. In the passenger side, it actually runs into the car for the heater core, but on the driver's side, it just comes to a stop at the freeze plug. This is going to allow a continuous flow between the two of them to allow better cooling of cylinder number 8, which is the most likely to fail on these cars and actually is the cylinder that failed on the old engine. All ARP hardware. These are all of the cam bolts. This is for the flywheel and this is for the harmonic balancer. And then over here I got upgraded polyurethane engine mounts. I did not go with the solid mount because of the vibration and stress that it would put on everything else, but if you guys have another recommendation, then let me know. Here is the rotating assembly. This is an Eagle 5.0 stroker crankshaft, 4043 aluminum, rated for 1500 horsepower. These are Eagle H-beam rods that are designed to work with the stroker crankshaft. These are rated for 750 horsepower. And then Aries 2618 pistons, negative 17 cc relief with an 8.9 to 1 compression ratio with the gasket that I will be running. Not sure about a power rating on these pistons. However, 2618 is stronger than 4043. However, it isn't as good for a daily driver or something you're going to use on the street because they expand more with the heat. So you have to have a greater piston to wall clearance when it's cold. Aries piston rings, Cleveite main bearings, and then in the engine block over here I have the Cleveite bearings set up at the moment, and I'm actually measuring the clearances on them.